Hello everyone, my name is Great Mate Nate, and at this video's rate, we're going to be returning to the wonderful world of Starbase. As a game that's been in development for over 5 years, you would think that all aspects of the game have been fully fledged and planned. And while that is the case with most of the mechanics, as we've seen from the stuff that they've already shown us, the one aspect of the game that I don't have much confidence in is the range of weapons and the ammo in which they use. Now let me begin this video by saying that this is in no way trying to throw shade at Frozen Byte or any of Starbase's developers. I am just being critical because, well, that's what's best for the game. If no one gives critical feedback about it, well then how can it ever improve? The people at Frozen Byte have done a wonderful job, and I have the utmost respect for all of them for being able to keep this a secret for over 5 years. So just keep in mind that all of this is my opinion, and at times I can just come off as overly critical. So for that I apologize. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take a look at Starbase's weapons. Without any further ado, these are the 4 points I have problems with Starbase's weapons: unbalanced diversity, spotty naming, unique ammo, and overlapping designs. Now let's dissect each one of these points individually, starting off of course with unbalanced diversity. Now I went through the wiki, and if you didn't know there was a Starbase wiki, it will be linked in the description. I went through and counted based on design elements how many of each class of weapons there were, and I have classified them into 4, technically 5 categories. There are 4 sniper rifles, 5 normal rifles, 6 specialty weapons, 2 sidearms, and then the bolter. Now why is this a problem? Keep in mind that this is my opinion, and this is, well, just based off what other games that I personally have played. Well, in most typical games, the largest number of weapons you have are of the normal category. What is normal? Well, think of assault rifles. Your default gun whenever you spawn into a first-person shooter. It shoots at, well, an automatic but not the fastest pace. It has, well, the okay mobility. All of the stats all around are okay. Typically, these are your most generic weapons, and that's why there's a lot of them. Normal weapons also include things like shotguns, which will aid you normally in battle. It's just one of the default selections that you come to expect. On the other hand, sniper rifles, they're not that many, and maybe you could argue that there's more sniper rifles in Starbase's selection because you're in space, which would make sense. But you're not going to be one-on-one on other people using handheld guns in space. That's going to be through ship-to-ship combat, so why would you be using sniper rifles in the first place? Then you have your specialty weapons, which are grenade launchers, rocket-propelled grenades, rocket launchers, all of the stuff that you don't normally see a lot of. Why do you not see a lot of them? Well, typically because they deal out a lot of damage or they have specialty traits. Now, in Starbase, there's actually really only rocket launchers and a flamethrower, and that will bring on to my other problem that I have, overlapping designs, in a second. But moving on to my next critique, spotty naming. The next problem I have with Starbase is probably my weakest point. It's just something that I find nitpicky, and is truly just because these are in an obviously draft state. The names of the weapons themselves are kind of all over the place. On one side, you have something like the Arc Lighter, which is one of the most amazing names I've heard for a gun in a long time. It just rings this bell of unimpending doom that sets into the foreground. It's really amazing, but on the other side, you have something like assault rifle, battle rifle, flamethrower, and things like that, which are not really names, but just labels. So obviously in the future, when these are more of fleshed out designs, each one will hopefully have a unique name, because Arc Lighter, that's really giving me some hope into the imagination that these devs have. It's really amazing. Now this next point I have is probably my biggest problem. Unique ammo. When you hear the word unique, that's typically used in good fashion, but in this case, in my opinion, it is really, it is not helpful, especially in a first-person shooter type game like this. In my opinion, Starbase is construction first and first-person shooter second, though other people are playing it just for its unique first-person shooter aspects, and for that case, the ammo of these weapons is a big problem. Aside from 2 weapons, each of these guns in the game has their own unique storage and projectile system. Aside from the arc lighter and the laser rifle, every weapon in the game has a unique projectile. For example, the anti-gel rifle, which is a type of sniper rifle, uses a specific clip with a specific amount of specific ammo, in this case a clip of 60 anti-gel discs. While on the other hand, the long rifle has a clip that holds 10 bullets. And then the rail rifle uses a rail. Now each one of these guns, in its own fairness, is pretty unique, so having a unique ammo type is, well, not a problem. But when you have all of your weapons that all have unique ammo, I think you can start to see the problem here. And if you're having trouble grasping that, well, let's say, an example, you want to use a couple different of these weapons in your squad, team, or just your friends in-game in Starbase. Well, first of all, you have to craft all of the different weapons, which in itself I don't think is going to be, well, the most easiest of tasks, but then you have to craft each of the projectile ammo types and allocate storage for all of them in a place where they won't get mixed up and every teammate has access to each ammo type that he or she needs. In a battle situation where you don't have the specific ammo on you, you need to go rambling through your spaceship and find the correct storage and where you put the correct ammo for your specific gun in a, well, pretty tense situation when you're under attack. You can see that it's not going to be a quick response time for that specific event. And while this is being pretty nitpicky, it's still a valid point that having all these different ammo types is really just not going to be a very smooth transition for the player base from typical first-person shooters where most of the ammo can be used with any gun. Now, my last little point is between 2 weapons here, the assault rifle and the battle rifle. Pretty much the same type of gun, which is okay. They're normal weapons. The battle rifle is your typical low caliber, high firing round, while the assault rifle is your faster paced, more spray and pray type gun. Now, this would be the perfect example of 2 weapons that could use the same ammo type, but they came so close. They both use a small clip, and they both have access to a larger capacity drum magazine. The assault rifle, in its clip, holds 30 bullets, while in its drum it holds 50, while the battle rifle in its clip holds 17, and then in the drum 28. Ignoring the fact that battle rifle, similar weapons in real life do not use drums, first of all, why are they using different amounts of ammo? And second of all, looking at the textures which you can see on screen, they are so incredibly similar that it would not be a stretch for them to be able to use the same ammo type. Now, looking at these 2 weapons specifically, there could be the valid point that these in fact do use the same ammo types, but if they do, why do they have such specific storage systems for their guns? You're not trying to be realistic in a game where you build your own spaceship as a robot. I'm pretty sure the developers could make the stretch for them to use the same storage system. Moving on from that word salad there, let's go to my last and final point, overlapping designs. The designs of Starbase's weapons are pretty cool to look at, but a lot of them have a very strange art direction. The grenade launcher kind of looks like a rifle, the rocket launcher looks like a grenade launcher, and the minigun looks like a rocket launcher. The first 2 are easy to excuse, but the minigun, that is so obviously devised from a rocket launcher design. It's got the 4 pods on top. I understand if they were trying to go in a unique art direction, that's amazing, but looking at the rest of the guns on this list, it's obvious that, well, most of these are not unique. Then you have other problems, like there being only 2 sidearms, one of which is just a revolver. it's just a revolver with it's literally just a revolver. There's nothing futuristic about it. And then on the other hand, you have a Reaper cannon which shoots freaking Death Star laser at your spaceship. The whole thing is cluttered. That's my opinion, and well, that's also the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and of course, make sure to tune in next time.